In 2000, In 2011, a guy named Felipe Lora, a creative director at Walt Disney, wanted to revive and bring new life into Toontown. He had worked with 4 other people and set out to make a prototype. It was an ambitious attempt to make a sequel with Toontown because they wanted to recreate playgrounds, cocky HQs, make buildings alive and interactive, and much more. However, the game was rejected by Disney due to them not liking the engine Unity, and that at the time weren't confident in this project and wanted to focus on their upcoming game Disney Infinity. It didn't help that Disney Interactive had laid off 700 workers, most of them working on Toontown. So in the end, Toontown 2.0 was a game that never happened, and shortly, Toontown Online closed as well. So when it comes to rumors or mysteries with Toontown, pretty much all of them have been debunked and explained by Loopy Goopy Google Nerd. He's pretty much asked all the questions from Jesse Shell, from other former Toontown Online employees, and we've all gotten answers from them. However, what they may not know was there was going to be a company that was going to revive Toontown officially in 2017. Our story begins with a guy named called Comrade Nap Call, who was working on a video regarding on Toontown Project Altus. While working on this video, he was researching stuff from Toonvolution Studios. He stumbled across this guy called Eric Bean, who was working on Toonvolution Studios. Eric was linked to a company called Brickwater Studios and to his website. Upon going on the website, you'll find a lot of interesting things. Looking around a little, you can look what Eric's been up to. One of them is from Toonvolution Studios, and it says, "A volunteer project I enjoy. This game was an attempt to remake Toontown Online, the once popular MMORPG by Disney. I was tasked with code and security of the game, programming everything from basic player code to figuring out ways the player might try to gain systems and prevent it." Now, this confuses me a little. It shows Eric was a programmer to Toonvolution Studios, but from what I've been told by Loopy Goopy Google Nerd, it was apparent that all the development and everything else were just lies. I kept looking through the websites that Brickwater Studios were in, and I found something cool. This page shows Toontown and even a company summary. And here's what it says. So what is Toontown? Disney's Toontown Online was a world for kids and kids at heart that allowed everyone to play in a safe way in a world that included everyone from Mickey and Donald to Pluto and Goofy. What did you do in Toontown? Go race, host a party, grow some gags, and of course, battle some cogs with those gags. From mini games and Toontasks to playing with doodles, Toontown is a family-friendly game for all ages to enjoy. While going on the website, you can find this as well. You were Toon Enough before. How about this time? Can't wait for Toontown to come back officially? See the current fan version at toontownrewritten.com. Now, can we read that again? Can't wait for Toontown to come back officially? Not only was this game going to be a remake of Toontown 2, but it would have been out by Disney. It also shows when the game was being developed in 2017 of September. And also, here's the banner art for the page. It doesn't look well done, but my guess was they got someone to draw a sketch for Toontown and making a tune through a pie to big cheese, and use that. I'm pretty sure people weren't supposed to find this website, that's why the banner might be so low quality, but who knows. Now, with finding all this information about the websites, let's go to the emails between Comrade Nap Call and Eric Bean. Comrade asked a few questions. First off, was the cease and desist real from Toonvolution? And if his company was still working on that Toontown fan game, and if it was still being worked on. And we got a really cool response. First off, the cease and desist from Toonvolution. Toontown 2.0 was a dream of a now believed fraud man. As much as I would like to give you his name, I'm not even sure what it is. As it comes to light that he has had more than 5 identities, most of which were centered around London, UK. Toonvolution was his company filled with the UK under false identity to create a version of Toontown that he claimed was fully funded. Breaking many laws in the process, his company collapsed in itself, mostly because of the minors he employed illegally. and took an IP that was not already legally claimed by another company, such as Shell Games or Disney, and changed his identity and started another Toontown again. Why Toontown? I have no clue, which has since collapsed and he's not been seen since. Now for the official revival. So Eric's company, Brickwater Studios, had pitched an idea and worked on a game called Toontown 2. Not the 2011 one, but a 2017 one. The game was supported by IBM, would use their cloud technology using Apple's Swift programming language, and was going to make an advanced AI system. Eric had said, as for Toontown 2.0, we plan a complete overhaul of the main system. We've acquired the new game graphics and systems, and we're overhauling them to refresh the dated graphics. We were also planning to match some of Toontown rewritten as being the current version. Many players would expect similar aspects to our game, and we did not want to disappoint. Also, here's what they were going to do. Redesign the playing ground to match the new theme-storyline, 2 new playgrounds, multiple storylines instead of one singular straightened one. Gag training is no longer relying 100% on the story, and vice versa. Random optional events, open map, places such as golfing and racing are now spread across the map, not just in one place. New level of cogs to fight found in a single place. An Ultra Boss would have been a part of this storyline, and much more. IBM was going to help redesign the server-sided system, and the devs were in the process of making the original system even better and complex using Disney's recently approved Unity version to handle more features listed of the new features. However, here's where our story comes to an unfortunate end. The reason why the game never happened is because of EA. EA had a scandal with Battlefront 2 with microtransactions and loot crates. It was rumored that Disney is no longer issuing game license and even going as far as revoking current license with many smaller companies. While yeah, it had a big company, IBM, helping them out, Disney stopped the project and parted ways with them due to EA. After learning all this, I wanted to get in contact with Eric to answer some questions I had. With my luck with emails, I knew I probably wasn't getting any response, but to my surprise, Eric responded, so I do thank him for that. So I asked what consoles this would have been out on, and he said it would have been out on Xbox One, PS4, Mac, iOS, and Android, as well with a Nintendo Switch, and even mentioning that they would have put it on next-gen consoles. He told me the same thing why the project failed. The project was shut down by Disney due to a fiasco with EA when they messed up on their loot boxes. When I asked if they'll continue the project as a fan game, they gave me this. We are not hurt by the cut, and we understand the risk they would have been taking reviving such an old game. We would have loved to bring life to the game, but it would have been a big loss for the studio if we had put resources into such a risky product. Although we have considered setting up a community project to complete it and start the project, we'll find this a risky move and decided against it. Eric also told me that they left the gaming market since they don't find that market too profitable. Something I also forgot to mention was that Eric had sent Comrade Napcall an early concept of Looney Labs, which looks okay, but at the same time it's a very early sketch of an idea for Looney Labs. So what could this mean for Toontown 2 in the future? I mean, sure, it was understandable why Disney didn't want to do it in 2011, but this is 2017. It seems like Disney just isn't interested in making a sequel of Toontown, but that doesn't mean it's not possible. One day, Toontown will officially come back. It was just due to bad timing with Disney, and them not wanting to work with a smaller company, and it was ultimately the reason why Toontown 2 just never happened. Again.
Is there any hope for a Toontown 2? I'm not really counting on it personally.